Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. I cannot wait to give this message. I'm hoping it's, short, sweet, to the point, because it's time, Scorpio. It is 13 on the clock, divine feminine, number of the divine feminine. Also reduces to 4, which is about your foundation. In your meditation, I heard your debts have been paid. Whether that's physical debts, whether that's your karmic debts. We all come here and have, family baggage that we heal from our ancestors. We choose that because we're a team, we're an evolutionary team. We decide to come back over and over and over. And I wish they gave me an experience a while ago where my daughter was sitting on the couch and I was in the kitchen cooking, and I looked out through the kitchen bar and I saw her. And there was there are no words that can explain this feeling. But there was such a knowingness of the fact that she is me in another body, and not another human being that I birthed, because even as a human, I still find that separation. Like, she's my daughter. She's not me. And when they gave me that experience, there was such an overflowing abundance of love. And it's just like, I went over to her and I just touched her head so tenderly. And this was God. This is Source doing these things. And I just touched her so tenderly and loved her so tenderly. And it was just like everything about her was perfect. Everything about her, and that's just how they were showing me how they view us as humans. And there are Scorpios, and it's not just Scorpios. There are Scorpios out there. You're really hard on yourself. And I'm gonna cry. It is because of the experiences you've lived through and how you've learned to navigate trauma. And some of it's happened for so long that this pattern of behavior, it took a really long time for you to heal this. So long, in fact, you can't really look back and pinpoint where the healing started. But you know where you are now, and you're happy with where you are. And they want you to know you navigated such tumultuous situations with grace and ease, even in the moments when you felt like you were explosive or said something evil or vindictive. It's like you were responding out of a wound, and now you don't respond in the same way. But they're saying there are situations, let's just say you have this, I kept this separate for a reason. There's a situation, let's just say you're used to living down here in this really low vibration. Okay? Really dense karmic situations, like dangerous. It could be dangerous things where it can be a matter of life or death with a decision, and you were used to being in that energy because that's what you lived with, that's what you grew up with. And God has been healing you. Source has been healing you and raising your vibration. Little sweet baby Jesus. Yep, Jesus does. He loves you. I think that's the cutest little thing ever. I love him. Anyway, as you've been raising your vibration, they want you to recognize something. There are situations that you deal with now that are so, it's like when you dealt with it, when you were in this lower vibration, it did not affect you because you were so used to feeling in this low norm energy. It was like this was your norm. But as you've been healing and raising your vibration, situations that want to kind of try to come back and see if there's still something there, it really affects you now. Like before, it's like, it reminds me of that song by Pink. There's some words in it. It's like, I feel like I can wave my fist in front of your face and you wouldn't flinch or even feel a thing. You've retreated to your silent corner and decided that life is over for you. Oh God, what is that song? Great Escape. I won't let you make the great escape. I won't watch you check out of this place because the passion and the pain are going to keep you alive someday. And that's exactly what's happened. You were confused about what passion and pain is. They were intertwined for you because of some experiences you went through. Those experiences have been healed, and now there are people that you are around, that you've been around for your entire life, or for large portions of time, and now it's like you can't take them, but only in small doses, and it's getting very uncomfortable for you because you're vibrating up here and not down here. And they're saying this is that you're in that incubator period where it's just like that manifestation's ready to pop into your experience. 44 was just on the clock. That manifestation's ready to pop into your experience to free you and release you from something. They also want you to know there was something pretty damaging and painful that was done maliciously towards you. And there were a group of people, and this is specific, so it won't be for everybody. There were a group of people involved, and at the time it was all fun and games. But now, look how, you see how my fingers are kind of like in a heart? I just looked down and saw that. I did not mean to do that. I was actually looking at this speaker thing up here. Now, it's not all fun and games for them. They are having a shit show of a life, and they are not recognizing that they are receiving karma for the things that they did towards you. That was all fun and games, a few years ago, 5 years ago, whatever, however many years ago. It's coming back, and they're not making the connection of why their life is kind of going in a bad direction and falling apart. It's almost like they made a deal with the devil, and now the devil's coming to be paid back. It's what it feels like. It's like they feel like they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't, and they're trying really hard to get out of something, but they are being reminded of what they did to you. And this is not just one person. This is a group of people. Some of these people you dealt with at different times in your life. I'm really getting a vibration here on my left thumb. And you know what? That's the feminine side. And I said something earlier about divine feminine when I saw the 13. So you could be somebody in your feminine energy, like your feminine dominant, or you've been mastering your femininity. 44 on the clock. Yeah, that's what it is. You've been mastering that feminine side of you, that receptive energy. And they want you to know, as you were raising your vibration, when you're healing and raising your vibration, little things with the people that were down here that were messing with you at one point, little things were happening to them, things that they can manage. Like, it was a stressful thing, like, this sucks ass, but whatever, I'll deal with it, it's done. But now it's getting to the point where there's 100 of those things happening all at once. They can't keep their head straight. They're being reminded of things that they did to you in this time. And you know why they're being reminded? Because they are experiencing the same emotional set points that you once had, that they triggered inside of you. And now they're being triggered with that. And they're being reminded of what they did towards you that put you in that energy. And then now they're like, damn, I didn't realize I was doing this. I didn't realize that I hurt Scorpio that way. I didn't realize this is what it felt like when I did this. It was, it was just an evil joke, an evil prank. And, I didn't, but it's like, they can't, the group of people, and you're going to get contacted by somebody. I don't know who, but there's someone that's going to contact you because they just can't take it anymore. They can't take, it's almost like Jesus giving them intrusive thoughts. 9/16, that's my mother's date of birth. That's my angel. It's like they're being given intrusive thoughts, like to the point where they're being forced to come your way and come clean about something. And it's like their conscience is not allowing them to have any peace until they do. So you can expect some apologies to come your way. What you also can expect is that they're not going to tell you the full truth, because they feel like they have to protect themselves. They feel like telling you everything would hurt them, and they're still too afraid to come fully clean. I feel like eventually they will, but to start, it's like they just have to get that initial apology out. Like, it's just gonna come out like diarrhea of the mouth, like blah, it's got to come out. And I also feel like someone someone who's being kind of forced into doing this is being pressured by another human being. They're being pressured by another human being saying, if you don't tell Scorpio, I'm telling Scorpio. So it's like this, somebody's feeling like, shit, I've got to say something now, because if they find out from somebody else, it's going to sound a lot worse than if I tell them. So that, I feel like that's something along those lines is coming up a conversation. Okay. Now, they told me, Scorpio, you're in this phase where you're like, you feel uncomfortable because you're still maybe in an atmosphere, an environment where vibrations are still down here and you're up here. It's only a matter of time until you pop. Man, I am really channeling. Until you pop through with that manifestation. It's just a matter of time. That's all it is. And it's like you have been doing so well. Like, they are so effing proud of you for what you've done. And it's different for all of you, so I can't speak to the specifics of what you've done because it's a general reading. But there's something that you've done that's a major, major deal in heaven. I don't want to say, I say heaven because, that's just the ethers, the 5D, whatever you want to call it. Source. Non-physical. All right? They are so proud of you. You have done something, and you've made it seem to Source, when they watched your story play out here, your avatar play out this story, to them, you did it so effortlessly. It was seamless. To you, it felt like a very bumpy ride because you had to navigate some difficult emotions. You had to understand what different emotions were. Like, before, you may have had, like, I'm happy or I'm pissed. Maybe you had two emotions that you knew of, but then you started becoming, aware of different emotions and moving yourself up this guidance scale. I had a prettier one from my, here it is, from my Abraham Hicks. See, there you go. Wish it wasn't bent. Oh well. It's okay. I can get another one. Anyway, they want you to know, like, you navigated that like a fucking master. You really did. You were just, when you got angry and you did something, I'm just going to give an example. So you are learning to heal. So you, instead of escaping from your anger and your pain and, maybe numbing out with substances or whatever, you started expressing your anger. And that's something that was new to you, that you had never done before, in a healthy way. 333 on the clock. And they need you to understand, Scorpio. They need you to understand. It's like maybe you put holes in doors, or you hit things, or you threw things. But you know what? They said you never once hurt another human being. Not once. You didn't. You did not physically take that anger out on someone. You found ways to deal with it. You didn't like having to deal with it. It's like you did not like having to express that anger because you have been taught to suppress the anger. People would rather you be sad. They would rather you be depressed than to be angry. Because when you're depressed, it doesn't affect other people. Like, you can be quiet, you can go to your room, you can be by yourself. Where if you're angry, that can affect other people's happiness that's in the room. If somebody's complaining and yelling and bitching, it's like, then it affects your happiness. So people, they get frustrated with you, but no, that's not right to be angry. And it's really about them. And they're saying you navigated being somebody who never knew how to express anger in a healthy way, then learning how to do it by yourself with Source alone, and figuring all that shit out. The emotional intelligence that you embody is otherworldly, Scorpio. It's otherworldly. It is not something, and it's so, it's like you think everybody can do this. You think that every person goes through the things that you've been through, or thinks the way that you think, or understands source the way that you understand source, and they don't. You were meant to go through this with source so that you can synthesize all this information with source and use this as your teachings for source. You are the mouthpiece of God. You are. You are meant to be bold. You are meant to be blunt. You are meant to be black and white. You are meant to be gray. You are meant to be, you see, you are meant to be all of these things. And you know, Jesus loved that. Jesus did not look at people and think like, you brood vipers, like they say in the Bible. He did not do those types. Like, he could see the wholeness. He spoke his peace. He spoke his truth. He did that, but he saw people in their wholeness, and he loved their differences. He didn't fault them when they sinned. He just tried to navigate them away from it and show them, like, turn away from your sin and follow me is turn away from your pain and follow me. I can teach you how to feel joy. I can teach you how to feel love. I can teach you how to be happy, how to appreciate life, to appreciate your, you know, your friends, your family, things like that. It's like you have mastered things that Jesus mastered, and you don't even, like, you in your human form right now can't comprehend that. But the time is coming, and they're telling me about 30 days from now, there are things, what is that? There are things you are going to be able to do just like Jesus. 30 days. So I'll get it. Damn, 17 minutes, and I didn't even have to get into the freaking cards. I am so sorry. No, you know, I'm not sorry. This message was important, it was vital, and it needed to come out. Now, in the pre-shuffle, I went through this deck. I turned everything upright because it was all cattywampus from my last reading. And I split to this, and they said, this is exactly what you're going through right now. And they need me to point out to you, this is the Judgment. This is the calling card. This is second chances. This is 30 chances, you know, depending on what you need in life. And this is the happiness. You got the two best cards that you can get together in the tarot deck. And they're major arcana. This is a fundamental life shift that is in your birth chart. If you were to look it up, you could figure this shit out, Scorpio. You could figure it out. Nobody else can figure it out. And I'm dead ass serious about it, because there is something very specific about your birth chart that is vastly different from other people's birth charts. And God did it this way to make it very plain and black and white for people when you teach from your experiences. Okay, anyway, they want you to know this is around the corner. This is your time. This is when things, this is not, you know what it is? It is about your abundance, but it's abundance in all forms. An abundance of clarity is coming to you, and they're telling me, Scorpio, like, you could be handed $1 million. At the same time, you are handed information about other things that has literally been eating away at the corners and dark, deep recesses of your mind, right? And they're telling me you are going to be more satisfied with the information you find out, the clarity over some very tumultuous circumstances. You're going to be happier about that than you are the money. Because it's like you're going to realize that you thought you were crazy, you thought you were this evil, vindictive person, and then you find out the truth about things, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's what really was going on? Like, wow. And it's like you once may have looked like the pariah, but now you're going to come out looking like the Messiah. I'm serious. There's just, it's like before, it's people were giving you that, like, woe is you, fuck Scorpio. But now, all of a sudden, wow, like, what? How did you do that, Scorpio? I'm so sorry that I misjudged you. I totally misinterpreted everything that you, I didn't understand what you were doing or saying. You know, it's like everybody who is against you all of a sudden becomes for you. And the people who hated you and disrespected you all of a sudden become your biggest cheerleaders. Truly, your biggest cheerleaders. And they needed me to point that out to you. Now, this 30-day challenge card came out in another reading. I don't remember which one it was. And in that reading, they had them, I paused the video and I even did it. Like, brainstorm, make a list of things that you can do for a 30-day challenge. And remember, they just said that within 30 days, you are going to be doing something that Jesus did. All right? It is profound. It is big. We are in the Great Awakening. We are in the Ascension. We are. And, oh gosh, man, I have so many awesome experiences. I cannot wait to share them. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. There's somebody I want to share them with specifically first. Yeah. It's a female. It's not a male. Because I have some exes watching this. And it's not you, bruh. I just have to say that. Because I can just feel them saying, is it me? No, not you. But anyway, having said that, this 30... I'm sorry, hold on just a second. Okay, sorry about that. My daughter came in. I heard her chuckle. I was like, oh, I had to talk to her for a second. Anyway, this 30-day challenge, they are saying you have made so many changes already and you are kicking ass and taking names at it. They're proud of you and someone is holding my left hand. I can feel the energy of a hand in my... It's my grandma. Oh, shit. She's going to be taking my dad home soon. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, guys. That flew out of my mouth. I meant to keep that in. Thank you, Grandma, for telling me. I'll deal with that later. Damn. I'm sorry, guys. That was kind of a heavy hit. Oh, well. I can handle it. Anyway, this 30-day challenge, there is a habit they want you to create, and it is something... this is not a habit that they want you to do that's stressful. This is a habit they want you to create and do every single day that is pleasant. It is pleasurable. It feels good to do it. They want you to do it. And it's something new. It says, and they told me this before I even looked down and actually saw this. It is something new. It's something that you are newer at. It's something like, you know, maybe you've scratched the surface of it or you've thought about it, but you haven't actually done it. It's time to do that for 30 days because what it does for your energy, is something just, it brings you into this Jesus vibration. 2323 on the clock. So 55, which is about change, also reducing to 10, which is about an ending, a completion. Scorpio, this does not get any better. I mean, I literally have only given you 3 cards. All of this has been channeled. Okay, let's see if there's anything else they want. But there is a habit, and they want you to take this seriously. Take your fun seriously, damn it. Have some fucking fun, Scorpio. Have some fun. Have fun. Sleep and rest. You know, it's interesting that this card came out. I am a Scorpio too, by the way. So I have to sleep and rest. That's so interesting. Let your body have the peace it deserves without feeling guilty. You do so much for others and you work yourself to the point where you are depleted and then you can go from like tipping from almost on empty on your gas tank to completely out within the matter of minutes because you allow yourself to give away so much of your time to other people and other things. And that's why they want you to do this. There is something peaceful that you can do that's going to make, it's pleasurable, it's peaceful, and it's something your body needs. Is that you need this deep rest. You need it. And it's like, you're going, oh, they're also telling me something, your dream state is going to change drastically. Like, you're going to start looking forward to going to bed just to have the dreams because of the way they feel. And they are actual answers to things that are coming up for you. What is this that's sticking out? The Six of Cups. Okay, your family is about to... I love it. Animals may be important to you. There are a lot of animals on this card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 animals on this card. Your that's about spirituality. You are raising your vibration. Now, let me go back to what I was saying. Earlier today, and I've never called my dog this, my dog Molly. I've shown her in videos in the past. I called her Pookie Bear, and I've never done that. I'm like, oh, come here, Pookie Bear. And I was like, what? And I'm like, I kind of laughed at myself, like, I've never said that. And then this evening, I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and this evening, I see a video, and it's a black bear just roaming through Cincinnati, like right up the street from me. And I'm like, okay, that's 2 things today that talk about bears. In this specific deck, there is a card in here, Bear Spirit. And the card is Be at Home. And it talks about rest. It talks about finding peace and needing to recharge your batteries. So this card coming out and then seeing that 2 bears today and that card saying be at home, especially for this full moon, it can be a bit of a challenge having a full moon in Capricorn, which is a polar opposite to the sun being in Cancer. Cancer being all about, why is this there? Cancer being all about family and tradition and, love. And then you have the polar opposite with Capricorns, like banging things into place, So there can be some contentious type of situations going on in your family sector at this time. It would be a good idea to really rest during this full moon. Take it easy. Like we're already in the shadow period before full moon, I believe is on the 10th. And then 2 to 3 days after that, the energy can be kind of high. This will be a great time for you to start this. It's the perfect time for you to start this. All right, I'm going to leave it there, Scorpio. I know this was a longer one, but someone needed to hear this. They're so proud of you. Go rest and sit pretty, honey, because you are. Peace and love.